And now, through the magic of the Cybernet Space Cube, the computer-enhanced podcast of the future, Transformers Slag Podcast.
What's up, everyone? How we all doing this Saturday night? It is the Transformers Slag Podcast, and our Saturday night live stream main event. Already losing it now. I'm your host, Protoman. I am the face that runs this place. I'm the voice you hear Monday to Friday, and it is now Saturday night. We're going to be hanging out. We're going to be talking the robots in disguise, and we're just going to be, taking some super chats, discussions, covering the small pieces of news that we had this week. Just little things here and there. Kind of want to show some cool stuff that I dug up because Hasbro hooked me up recently, and so I kind of want to talk about that too. We'll find out about all this later tonight. So, how we all doing? Who do we got in the chat today? So we got Patreon member Mayoral Fabrication. We got Robotimus Toys. We got Cringe McCringle, also a patron. We got Patrick Brown. We got Will Murphy. We got Brainstorm 2002. We got James Hopkins. We got Rodimus Power. Sharif is here. Eyes on Ace. T-Formers 2002. Roman Schilling. Will Murphy, I think I already said. Ashnud is here. What's up, Ashnud? Timmy K. Poindexter, Esquire Jr., Masterson the Third. Got a lot of people here today. It's going to be a good one. We got Alden is here. Iden is here, one of my Patreon people. It's going to be a good one. So, we'll cover some news, and then we'll jump into some stuff that we messed with this week. We'll talk about some cool stuff that we're going to be talking about next week, which I want to get into, and show some cool stuff that I have off camera of historical significance related to that. You'll see pretty cool stuff. So yeah, let's jump into it. And again, if you want to be part of it, Butters just came into the room, so you might see the cat on camera. Just hit that super chat down there if you want to be part of the craziness. So let's jump into it. We'll talk about the worst bot ever. Talked about it early this week. Skybound is going to be putting out some younger demographic graphic novels that will be available in bookstores, not so much comic book stores, but in bookstores. If you go to your younger reader section of your, I guess, Chapters, Indigo, Borders, whatever you want to call your bookstore, Kohl's in some locations in the UK, I believe, they will have usually short-run graphic novels, comic books, in for younger demos, and Skybound has been doing these for a while now. Even IDW did them for a while before that, and they're going to be doing the Worst Bot Ever series with Transformers, and the first one is going to be Meet Ballpoint, the ballpoint pen Decepticon, and his wacky adventures of being kicked out of the Decepticons and getting revenge on the Autobots to prove his worth. So this is going to be something that's going to be coming out soon. Brian Smithy Smith is the writer. Mars Jr. is the artist. We will see how this turns out, and should be interesting. Very, very bots in flavor, in my opinion. Just has that vibe, It's like bots kind of gave us, ballpoint. Well, maybe not a pen, but a pencil and crayon Transformers. So it's very on brand for that. So if you were a fan of bots and you want to see maybe more of that kind of wackiness with a G1 spin on it, check out Worst Bot Ever, Meet Ballpoint, which will be coming out very, very soon. And again, your local bookstore would probably be the best place to find it, if not to pre-order on Amazon or otherwise. And then we go into the heated topic of this weekend. Geez, I don't even know where to begin. Every time I talk about this, it's just the mental gymnastics that go on. Oh, well, but these companies make these guns and all of this. But let's talk about, of course, the statement that came from Hasbro, specifically Evan Brooks, that 86 Megatron, when they do get around to him, will be a tank. And just people are not happy, but let's be real. There's, I try to do segments that try to just show everything, the laws, the stock market, the shareholders, just all the reasons why it won't happen. And it's just never enough, unfortunately. But it is what it is. Like there's going to be fans that feel there should still be a gun Megatron in Walmart, in, you know, California. It's just not going to happen. There will be gun Megatrons. They'll just be Japanese exclusives made for that market, and you're going to have to import it, and that'll be that. And that'll just be kind of how it is, unfortunately. But it's something that I'm still surprised after all these years of talking about it on the podcast, and I read the comments. Once in a while I post and ghost, but once in a while when I feel it's a topic that has a bit of discussion involved with it, I will read the comments, and I'm unfortunately disappointed to see that there's still people that are like, "Well, Jazzware does this." Jazzware is not a publicly traded company that, if they mess up and make a figure that offends people or offends a demographic or something, it's going to lose their stockholders. You know, it is what it is. So it's if you want to one day work in the toy industry, a lot of us dream of doing that. If you one day want to work in the toy industry, you got to have rationale that exists beyond just the toys. There's the business side of it that is very important. There's the marketing side of it, the retail side of it, the logic side of it, the social side of it. If you don't connect all those dots, what's up, Larry? If you don't connect all those dots, you're not going to get very far with that. So that's something you guys got to think about too. If you just want to collect and scream from the top of the mountain, that's cool too. I mean, it is what it is, but it is something you guys do have to consider. And it's just, I'm going to be drinking a lot today. I came from Poutine Fest, which was something that was going on here in Montreal, where there was all these different poutines and stuff. Imagine. And I am salted up to the extreme. My goodness, filled with nothing but hot dogs and poutine and hand squeezed lemonade, which was delicious. But yeah, it's something that Megatron has been a lot of different things. That's the name of today. He was a gun, he was a tank, he was a jet, different continuity, different Megatron, but he was a dinosaur, he was a helicopter, he was a truck. I could go on and on. When you really think about it, I get it. A studio series Megatron that's supposed to be extremely screen accurate, you would want it to be a gun Megatron, but it just can't be done. And how it would like to expect, Takara Tomy to make an exclusive for their market studio series gun Megatron. It's just not worth the time and energy. They rather do other stuff. Timmy K wants to know what's the best poutine. Honestly, you could get an amazing poutine almost anywhere in Montreal as long as you go to places like La Fleur's, Belle Provence, which are chain restaurants located here, and you could just get an amazing poutine from that. I mean, obviously Poutine Fest is more, I'm not a big fan of it, but it's more the pizzification of poutine, which is like, let's do smoke meat poutine, lobster poutine, General Tao chicken poutine, just pretty much take poutine and throw something else on top of it, just like what people did to pizza, you know. Like one day we're gonna have a pineapple poutine, but whatever. Um, but yeah, the best poutine you could get in Montreal, you could just get it almost anywhere. A basic poutine from a simple greasy spoon hole in the wall will give you something that'll you'll talk about for the rest of your life, I'm telling you. Um, let's see what else we got here. Ashnud, I don't want him to be a hand ever again. Talking about Gigatron. What? I technically don't consider that a Megatron. I consider that a Gigatron because I feel like he's kind of his own character. Robots in Disguise 2001's trademark names are just that. They're trademark names. I don't consider that character Prowl. I consider it Mock Alert. I don't consider that character Wild Ride. I consider it X-Brawn. Excuse me, I don't consider it X-Brawn. I consider it Wild Ride. Like Sideburn, Speedbreaker. There never was a Sideburn before, so it could kind of be its own thing. But yeah, sushi poutine does exist. I've seen people do that. I've seen people do that. McDonald's makes an okay poutine. I don't know. See, the problem with McDonald's is their French fries are really thin. So I find that by the time you like of all like the big famous fast food chains, I think that just me personally, I think the best poutine is KFC only because of the sauce that they use and they have pretty thick fries. Although I'm not a big fan of their French fries. I feel a good poutine, it starts with the French fries. And McDonald's, while their French fries are good, they're too thin for something that's going to have extremely hot uh, gravy sauce poured on top of it. It kind of turns it into a soup, which is, it is what it is. Let's not try to. We'll have too much poutine talk early in the stream. We're only 20 minutes in and we're already talking food. That's life. Transformers and food. It's all that matters, I guess, at the end of the day. Um, TF is poutine, says Brainstorm. Darn right, I guess. But I mean, look, it's just to me, I feel like we'll get like a missing link Megatron at some point, and it will turn into the gun, and you'll get your gun Megatron there. It'll be slightly more expensive. It'll have die-cast parts. It won't really fit in really with your generations display, but it'll be a thing. And then if, like to me, Gun Megatron exists in a world where Transformers isn't doing really well in the West and Takara is steering the ship. You know, like like the stuff I guess behind me here, like, Robot Masters that came out around like 2003, 2004. When you see what Robot Masters was doing, which was exclusively 100% a Japanese line, and what was parallel to that at the time, which was like, the end of Armada going into Energon, and maybe even if you stretch Robot Masters a little bit, maybe going into the beginning of Galaxy Force Cybertron. You look at what was coming out in the West at the time, and then you look at what was coming out exclusively, tooled molds exclusively for the Japanese market. When Takara was steering the ship 100%, you could have had that kind of stuff. And, we still kind of have that. I mean, like, you have like Super Megatron, that exclusive tooling to the Legends line and stuff based off of the Battle for Star Convoy, Return of Star Convoy, Battle Stars, exclusive character. You still kind of have that once in a while, but it is what it is, and I just hope that people will slowly understand that. Look, I'm with you in a sense. I would love it to have a gun Megatron like a modernized plastic Studio Series 86 Voyager class gun Megatron. Make it a leader or make it a leader class so it has all the extra, parts and pieces, and everything. But uh, to me, as much as I want that, there's also the side that's business that knows it can't happen. And in the same way that for years it's like, I want Hot Rod toys to be called Hot Rod, but I also understand that Mattel at the time had the trademark. And, now it's not so much the case. Now we have the Hot Rod trademark back. But that wasn't the case for the longest time. Hot Rod wasn't called Hot Rod. He was Rodimus or Rodimus Minor or Rodimus Major or just Rodimus. Or Hot Shot, even in the video game at one point. It's always the limitations of that, and then the argument's like, well, why don't you make it something where he could be a gun, a tank, but then if you take these things apart, he transforms into a gun and it'll be an Easter egg. You can't do that because sooner or later, when that Easter egg does get out, people are going to be able to have it be like that, and they don't want to go that route. It goes back to the stockholders thing, unfortunately, where things are really good right now for their stocks. Like I, full disclosure, I am a Hasbro stock owner. I've had stock since 2002, 2000. I think I got it around the time when I got um, the second repaint of Cyclonus from Armada. So is that 2002 or 2000? I think 2003, probably 2003. So I got it around that time because I remember that was a new figure that was on my desk when I first pulled that trigger. And I've watched that stock go like this. And the beginning of this year and the tail end of Q4 of last year was really bad for Hasbro. It was really bad. There was a lot of drama, not just Transformer related, but a whole bunch of other stuff. And a lot of stockholders were pulling out their stocks. The stocks really went down. And now it's recovered amazingly. And it's not really so much because of Transformers, but a lot of other sectors that are doing well too. Transformers are a positive part of it, but Magic the Gathering in certain sectors were doing well in the past couple of months, and GI Joe was doing well, and Marvel Legends was doing well. So there's Star Wars not so much, but the other ones have been doing pretty well. So they're actually, as of yesterday, has had a year since the beginning of the year. This is a record high for them. 66.5 per share, if I remember correctly, as of yesterday. I don't sell. I just ride it out. I'm going to ride into the ground. Even if it becomes like $1 a share, then I'll probably buy a bunch and own the company. but the point is like I just ride it out. But there's a lot of people that they're scared of selling it, and all it takes is some negative drama. And gun related stuff has been an issue with Hasbro in the past. They've had problems with their Nerf stuff that led to recalls, and lead found in their Nerf little blasters and stuff, and their water guns, and that leads to negative press, which then leads to very sensitive individuals who are stockholders, and money sensitive people who are stockholders, who aren't really fans of the brands, who are just kind of looking for a place to park their money. And their financial advisor goes, "Oh, Hasbro's a safe bet. They're a family owned company, blah blah blah." But they're someone that if the first smell of blood, they run and they'll, okay, I'm putting it in Apple, I'm putting it in Amazon, I'm putting it elsewhere. So there's that silliness too that unfortunately exists. It's just a reality. Guys like me who have the stock, we don't care. We don't care. It could be $1, it could be $60, whatever. I'm here to ride it out because it's not about making money. It's about access and being a shareholder and just kind of getting that extra window into what's going on in that company. Because it's not just Transformers that I like. There's a lot of other brands that I enjoy that they have a huge part of. So why not? So that's kind of my 2 cents on it. Again, go watch the segment. I put all the information on the screen, so you could just kind of pause and see the whole history of the 1988 Section 4 Act, which was passed in Congress in the United States for toy laws, and guns having to have orange tips on them, and then that being revisioned in 1991 again, and then in 1995 Alan Hassenfeld, the at the time CEO of Hasbro and practically co-founder of the entire company, one of the Hassenfeld brothers of the Hasbros, Hassenfeld brothers, Hasbro, if you didn't make that connection. um, he was part of the Anti-Gun Law Act, and being part of Ceasefire and those anti-gun groups. So you kind of already know where the mentality within the company is to begin with that. And it's kind of ironic because they make Nerf, but you know, I'm not going to get too much. A Canadian talking about guns will only get so far. Needless to say, a Canadian talking about guns will only get so far. But yeah, that's it more or less in terms of news. Um, it really wasn't so much a busy week for news, so much as just the discussions. The fact that we had like 2.5 segments this week, kind of about the same topic, just because I talk about it and then that tornado just went crazy and just blew down a bunch of buildings. And now I got to address all the destruction that happened there. You know, it's pretty nuts. Timmy K with the YouTube member question is Canadians have the same toy gun laws? Actually, much stricter. Um, it's, yes, we have the orange plug thing law, but it's pretty tough to find a toy gun that isn't like extremely hot orange. Oh God, I had a really good example near me that I talked about it on another podcast a couple of months ago. It's probably upstairs now. But like even water guns are all like super soakers. They're all like super neon and everything. Like they don't mess around. And I mean, look, there's gun owners in Canada. They have to go through a rigorous process to have licenses to even purchase ammunition and stuff. It's a very different world over here. But I understand it also when you talk about the culture of the United States and how that entire country was founded and the wilds of it. And, guns were a form of survival, in a lot of ways. I get it, I get it. But at the same time, it's different over here in Canada. It's a completely different animal. And, as time progresses, let's be real. I mean, I understand guns for protecting yourself and everything, but a lot of people that I talk to that say like it's also to protect themselves from the government. I don't know, man. If the government wants to wreck you, they're going to wreck you. It's not going to be with a pistol. You know, they'll do stuff. And I'm not a fan of the government, so they're it is what it is. But yeah, so there's that's kind of a downer, but you know, it's such a heated discussion, and there's so many different people coming from different walks of life. So I get it. I try to see their perspectives and stuff, but at the end of the day, knowing the corridor that toy would have to go through, which is the Hasbro toy aisle in the Western market, you're going to hit that wall. You're always going to hit that wall. Prince and Phalanx 59, just as long as bot mode is way better than RED Megatron. Yeah, the RED Megatron wasn't that good. Um, Again, I feel that whatever that bot mode is going to be similar to the Nemesis Bridge Collection Megatron. I feel that we're going to be in that same kind of vibe. You know, that's kind of where I kind of see it going. The best possible robot mode without compromising it too much by it turning into a tank. And then, of course, someone can then just make a fan mode that kind of looks like a gun. And then you could just say that. Here's my gun mode. Shout out to Hunter Dude who made this from his Siege Megatron. So, we'll see. We will see. We will see. So, next up, what I want to talk about, I'm sure the gun talk will still continue, the Megatron talk, but you could super chat that if you want to continue. Next thing I want to talk about is every year since the beginning, since the 2007 movie, Hasbro has always sent me an invite to go see the movie extremely early. They sent me an invite just as of yesterday to see Transformers 1. I will be seeing Transformers 1 tomorrow. Now, I have a gag order where I cannot talk about the movie until the 22nd coming up, which is still pretty soon. I don't know why the 22nd. My assumption is that's when the professional reviewers will get access to the movie. So I will be seeing the movie tomorrow, but do not expect some kind of a review or spoilers or anything like that, at least on the podcast, until the 22nd, which I believe is a Thursday or something. So I might pre-record something and then confirm it with Josh, who's the guy from GoFo who gave me the ticket from Hasbro, who's their marketer. Um, I'll reconfirm it with him if I could release it Thursday morning. There's time zones, there's all kinds of silliness, so I got to also cover my butt with that. Um, but yeah, there's some kind of gag order on that for the time being. But what I want to show, I kind of dug these up. People probably dig these. These were tickets that I got throughout the years. So again, Tom DeSanto sent this. He signed it too. This was for the very first movie. And what sucks about these is they would always send these, and they're very cool. This is literally how the ticket looks: protect, destroy, and then you are invited as a guest to the special screening at the theater. Blah blah blah. This is in Hollywood, obviously. I did not go because as much as I love Transformers, I'm not flying all the way to Hollywood. So I figured I'm just going to keep the ticket. But then they obviously compensated, and then I ended up going to my local theater on the same day. They did a special screening for reviewers. So there's that one. That's pretty cool. I dig that. But I find here, let me show you the next one. Let me just put this away because these are collectibles. These are one of a kind items that are pretty rad. So this was for Transformers 2007. And then you have, again, Tom DeSanto sent it again in the mail. Transform and roll out. Tom DeSanto sent this one to me. And this one was for Revenge of the Fallen. Look at this ticket. So this one, same story. You are a guest invited to the premiere. Boom, boom, Monday at that fancy theater, the main Braun Theater. That is a really cool one. Look at that. That is the coolest ticket for a movie I have ever seen in my entire life. That is so cool. And again, I didn't go to that one because again, I'm not flying all the way to California, and I rather keep the ticket because the ticket is cooler than going to see it for. Um, and then after that, uh, they would do everything digitally because then they started catching up to the internet, and then they would just send you a digital printout. And so it's funny because that's also when around the time of Dark of the Moon was also when the big crazy boxes that they used to send out to fans and influencers, they stopped kind of doing that on a fancy crazy box to just be like a white box. Dark of the Moon was the last of those, and then they started doing it again for Rise of the Beast and BotBots. Oddly enough, they sent a BotBots one out also. So, but very cool that. So now they sent it. So it's just an image on my phone now, a QR code. So tomorrow I will be seeing it, and at the downtown theater here in Montreal on St. Catherine Street. And then I believe on the 22nd, I'll be able to talk about it. So stay tuned for that if you want somewhat spoilers. I don't know if I want to really make a spoiler review so much as an opinion piece. Like if it was really good, if it was really bad. I'm kind of conflicted on how I want to on how I want to talk about it. But we'll see because I feel that this movie is very important in steering the ship of the future of the brand. It's something where if it is not successful, Hasbro is really going to have to, regather their resources and figure out what's the next move because it doesn't matter if we like it or don't like it. It's always about the money in the end, and if no one goes to see it, we have a problem, you know? And like it was the same conversation I had with Rise of the Beasts. It was like if Rise of the Beast is ridiculously successful, we're going to see more Beast stuff. And look what happened. Beast Wars reissues poop the bed. They're in clearance everywhere. Rise of the Beast product is on crazy clearance with Earthspark. It did not do well. And the movie broke even. I liked the movie, but the movie broke even. There's my opinion, and then there's the facts of what happened in the space of the movie going market and their engagement with the Transformer brand. So doing a CG movie that also feels like the beginning, so it feels like like people who are casuals don't have to see movies before to understand. This is where it begins. It's Transformer 1. It's almost like they're bashing the heads of the casual movie-going audience to let them know this is where it starts. 1, beginning. You don't need to have seen the past 8 movies. You could just go into this raw. And by it being CG and it being about the robots instead of having human elements and all of that, it'll maybe just look, if you keep going left and it don't work and it don't work and it don't work, go right, and they've been going left for a while now and it hasn't been working. So now they're going to go right, they'll see what happens, you know. So it's something where we'll see. We'll see. I hope it's fun, but we'll see. Combiner Wars had a cool Megatron with upgrades to make it look like his Generation 1 look. That was which one? That was the one that was more based on that one was kind of more leaning on IDW. That was the one that came with the sticker sheet, right? Where you could put the Autobot logo on it. I have that one. It was good, but I always kind of saw that more as the IDW Megatron. And then they turned that into Armada Megatron, which looked kind of weird. You know, I don't know. That one, again, I think they'll do something. I feel that it's definitely going to be something where the robot mode is going to take heavy priority, where they're going to make sure it just looks perfectly like that Fluoro Deary animation model. They're going to try to knock it out of the park, and then taking that, try to figure out a tank mode that doesn't encroach on that robot mode. And maybe they'll have some really good twists and turns that tuck it into like the legs and stuff to really hide it. I Eric Siebeneller and the crew who worked on Transformers animated product along with Derek Wyatt and Aaron Archer, and there was another individual, I forget his name, who worked on the Bumblebee and stuff. You have guys that are very good at hiding kibble, making perfect robot modes and hiding that it even transforms into stuff. So if you have some of those guys working on that Megatron, you could probably work something out, especially the guys who probably work on the Masterpiece line, the Shogo Hasui's, the Kobayashi Sans, the even Yuki Ashima, who works with Kissplay, also worked on Masterpiece. Those guys are really good at that kind of tooling and engineering. So I'm very curious to see how they'll pull that off and what will take priority and what won't. I have a feeling what will take priority, but we'll see. We will see. We will see. But yeah, so again, tomorrow I'll see the movie and then expect sometime this week on the podcast there will be a review. There will be a review at some point that will be hitting. I assume it's gonna be Thursday, so stay tuned for that if you are interested. The movie does come out September, so it will be pretty early to be getting a review from someone. So if you don't watch it, I will not be offended. It's just something that I'll put out early. And then if you want to revisit it, a month from that point when you see the movie, that's totally cool too, you know? But it is something I kind of just want to put out there. I'll put my feelings out there when the time comes, and you guys could choose if you want to watch it or not. That is your prerogative, if you wish. If you wish. Also today, well, actually yesterday, I finally got around. Maybe if you saw it on my Instagram, um, I also got around opening up the Chinese exclusive Crimson Flame Year of the Dragon Transformer. I forgot how much of a floppy mess the Steel Bane mold is. Because that's the last time I messed with this mold. I believe was the Steel Bane one or the Skeletron. One or the other. I'm looking at my Age of Extinction display. Either one or the other. I forget which one I got first and which one I got second. But you know, So I finally got around to opening this guy, messing with him. He's an interesting brand new tooling. I like the extra accessories, and it's pretty slick. I like that it comes with this cool stand that kind of makes me want to display it actually probably in dragon mode instead. Um, Interesting. Again, thank you to Joseph for hooking me up with it straight from China. Um, Very cool. I got a bunch of other stuff I still got to open up. I'm again, I'm saving to open up this guy until after I see the movie. I feel like I want to see the movie and then I want to open this guy up and then have that feels, you know? So I'm kind of have this guy aside. So you'll see probably a dated photo shoot because I'm sure everyone else has opened up and take photos of it. But you'll see a dated photo shoot of Optimus Primu. Uh, you know, maybe on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll see. We will see. Robotimus Toys. Love the Rodimus plush. Yep, we will be talking about Symbiote Studios in a moment and the Unicron there too. Ashnud says, "Guess I need to mute Transformers on Twitter to avoid spoilers." Well, I won't talk about it on Twitter. That I will never talk about spoilery material on stuff that'll be a feed. You know, like something where like a Facebook or whatever. Like I always hate people who do that kind of stuff. You know, like they'll see like a Deadpool movie early and they're just gonna post a whole bunch of spoiler stuff in something that I would just be casually scrolling. Like that's never cool. Like I'll put it in a video where the title says spoilers on it so you don't just click on it, and I would warn at the beginning of the video. Like I would give people warnings, not just go, "Oh, by the way, XYZ makes a cameo and blah blah blah," and all these, spoilers, Like I don't want to do that to people. So I Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. Don't worry, I will not do that. Because I hate people who do that. That's just not cool. I understand you want to talk about the movie, I get it, but not everyone sees the movies right away. That's why there's a lot of Transformer content that's fictional based that I don't talk about, primarily because people are kind of slow to watch stuff, and I'll usually only talk about it in a video. I won't talk about the episodes of, new shows or stuff as, when they come out because sometimes people don't get around to it, especially like, Earthspark. Like, not everyone has access to streaming services. Not everyone has access to questionable websites that you use to watch it because I don't pay for streaming services. Hey, Disney, what the hell are you doing, man? We'll probably talk about that later. But yeah, that's a whole other drama. But it's something where that's why I kind of don't talk about it in like this content here, the live streams, or in my my social media, because not everyone's able to watch it right away. I like everyone to be able to kind of watch it at their own pace and be able to see it and enjoy it for the first time and have those aha moments in the moment. Because I know I love that. I know some people don't care about spoilers. They don't care about being surprised, but I like being surprised. I like watching a movie and having a smile on my face the whole time. Just enjoy. That was me with Infinity War as a big Thanos guy growing up as a kid. I was smiling the whole time. Not so much Endgame, but definitely Infinity War. My face hurt when it was all done. But yeah, so don't worry. It'll be in a video. And even then, I'm not even sure if I want to do a spoilery video. I'm not too sure yet. I'm really not too sure yet if I want to do a spoilery of just like an opinion piece. Like if I feel that, like let's say the movie's bad, right? Like then me saying why it's bad and where I feel this might push the brand, or if it is successful, where this might push the brand or where it might go, So what's up, MC and Tom Laney? Welcome, welcome. But yeah, let's do some sponsors. Long overdue. We're already almost at the 1 hour mark soon. So again, let's give a shout out to, because they mentioned the beautiful Hot Rod plush over there and Unicron and the Slag plush, and then the San Diego Comic Con exclusive, which is unfortunately sold out. But Symbiote Studios plush pins and t-shirts, go check them out, yo, at symbiotestudios.com. One of our beautiful sponsors of the pod, of course. I'm wearing today one of their older shirts, Catnip Bravo with the Flesh Eater. And yeah, go check them out. They have some great stuff, beautiful pins, great t-shirts. The Grimlock is coming soon, so stay tuned for that one. I know people have been wondering when the new Grimlock will be coming out. The I believe the date that Joseph said was, September. We'll see. But when it does come out, I will let you guys know, and we will have all that there, as well as all the others. You know, it's all there too. We'll see what happens. And of course, the other Hasbro brands, go check those out too. And all the other stuff also. There's some new stuff planned that's going to be coming from a non Hasbro brand side. So stay tuned for that. Some new licenses and everything. These are very high quality, large plushes for collectors. These are collector plushes. I can't I can't stress that enough, guys. Like these are huge, and it's a collector grade plush. It's not like something that you would buy in Walmart. It's not something that you would, buy from like Toys R Us's plushie section, more lower quality, made in China kind of stuff. This is a collector grade minky material plush. So yeah. Ashnud, Pulse, I know they are going to be thumbnails on YouTube from the other guys. So got killed, and did they see? And I don't know what you're talking about, Ashnud. Maybe you're talking to someone else here. On there, they're going to be thumbnails on YouTube from the other guys. I don't concern myself with other content creators. Um, I always say if you look over the fence too often, you concern yourself with how green your grass is compared to theirs. I just concern myself with my own grass, and I concern myself with my own content and making the best content humanly possible. Not to brag, number one Transformer podcast in the world. You guys are an amazing audience, and you guys always turn out, and you're always extremely supportive. But I also feel that part of that comes from the fact that I give you guys really good educational product that's very different from what other content creators do. To quote a certain Hasbro employee, it's not like the other content creators that are just a bunch of people complaining in a restaurant. That's all I'm gonna. That's to paraphrase. You know, um, it was shout out to Nate from Hasbro. Who's one of the head marketing guys at Hasbro, and who's a big fan of the podcast. Shout out to him. It's good to know that talented guys within that big industry respect what we're doing here. You know, um, so it's something that's really cool. Something that's really cool. You know, but we'll see. We'll see. Like Prince of Phalanx 59, the Hasbro team did an interview this morning with Toys R Us channel. I have to get, it's just me who has such a busy schedule. I keep talking to Evan about it, and I keep going like, let's do a sit down and just talk about life and toys. Not even Transformers. I just want to let's talk about toy collecting and the science of it, and just like almost not like I don't even want to talk, hey, like, because most guys are gonna be like, hey, why don't you tell me what's gonna be the next studio series I don't even want to blindside them with that. I want to talk about the profoundness of toy collecting from people that are part of that industry. What do you collect outside of what you work on? What do you want from toys that you collect? Let's ignore the robots that you guys work on. Like, what do you look for in a toy that you enjoy? What are your personal things? What were your first toys growing up that might have, shaped and influenced your life? Don't give me a Transformer answer. Give me something I'm not expecting. Tell me that, like, you messing with a He-Man toy and not liking the articulation inspired you one day to be a toy creator and wanting to make hyper articulated figures that are screen accurate. Like, I want to hear those stories, because those are very important. And thank you, CD, for subscribing. So um, it's something where we will we will potentially do something in the future. It's just me finding the time, because we do the podcast Monday to Friday. I really squeeze that into my schedule. And then Saturdays I do this, but during the day, during Saturday, like I'm busy with life, and Sunday's my day off. It's really tough to squeeze everything in, combined with the fact that um, I'm actually looking at making a second channel that I'm not really doing for, any other reason but to fill an educational void, I guess is the best way to put it. I want to work on another channel that's about the card industry, because I do a lot of stuff with cards, and the card collecting community is, to not throw shade, very ignorant about how things work. And I want to kind of do a channel that explains how all of that works and the history of some of those famous lines. So it's something I don't want. It's the reason why it doesn't exist right now, because I just haven't had the time to put it together. But it is something that I will do in the future. You know, Prince of Phalanx 69, you should host an interview with Aaron and the current Hasbro team and have them discuss the company then and now. That would be a little risky, only because you don't want to go, oh, it's remember the good old days when the company didn't suck, with guys who are currently employed with the company. And anytime you do an interview with Hasbro, they have their PR guy with them, just to make sure the right things are said too. So you got to be careful with that. So I would never want, again, I don't want to blindside people. Like when I do interviews with guys, sometimes I literally show them the questions that I'm going to ask them beforehand, just because if something is sensitive to them, because I don't want to do that to them. You know, if they're going to be on the podcast and they're going to be respectfully there, I don't want to have to be a dick about it. You know, if they need me and they want to be there because it somehow benefits them, different conversation. But I understand how it's kind of in this kind of situation, they're doing me a favor. And for them to do me a favor and then turn around and go, all right, Evan, tell me everything that's coming out in 2025 and tell me all the trademarks, and I'm not going to take no for an answer. That's not me. That's not me. Uh, Timmy K. Poindexter, Lego steered me into a career into engineering. Brother, it's kind of the same way with me when I went into mechanics. It's messing with, all of that. Taught me how to take apart an alternator, and I ain't talking about a transformer alternator. Kaz with the $2 super chat. Thank you, Kaz, for the super chat today. Sup, Proto. I got the rare Takara machine saucer. Oh, you got some Diaclone stuff. Nice. You got some Diaclone related stuff. Very cool, my man. I always wanted to get, never got around to it. I always wanted to get Cosmo Roller from Diaclone. It's always been a kind of a cool little vehicle that I always wanted to get. And I just never found it at the completeness that I want with the price that I want to pay. Like I could find it super hyper bare bones incomplete and it's still kind of expensive, but you know, that's something where the hunt continues. Let's put it that way. If BotCons and TF cons were on that BotCon 2000, 2013 level back in the day, if they had like the Tony Pritos and the Azuzas that would do those shows and bring those rare items and price them respectfully, maybe respectfully isn't the right word, but friendly, um, then I'd be an owner of one. But those opportunities don't present themselves too often, unfortunately. A lot of my big rare purchases usually came from doing conventions, not so much from eBay or privately online. I find that that's usually the case a lot of times. I find that usually a lot of the really good stuff I get, whether it be animation cells or super rare transformers, it usually comes from being at a con as opposed to an eBay link. But thank you for the super chat, Kaz. Thank you so much. T-Formers 2002. That's Shattered Glass Proto talking. Well, Shattered Glass Proto would review stolen toys. That would be the first thing. He would be buying stolen toys from guys from Vietnam and China. He'd be reviewing them. He would be giving you extremely bad advice on how the hobby
Megatron,
works. He'll be like, "Oh, Hasbro could make a gun Megatron tomorrow. They just don't want to because they don't like you. They think you smell, and they just want to keep it away. They're just like, oh, one more year. We're gonna keep them doing that one more year because we don't like them. You know, a Shatterglass Proto would actually be kind of fun to see. You know, would actually be kind of fun to see. But that's another universe that we live in. It's a whole other universe. But yeah, look, even me, I got into my profession because I really liked like fixing toys, especially taking them apart, putting them back together. GI Joes, like the first time I ever encountered that as a kid, it wasn't even GI Joe actually. That's actually incorrect. There was this kid in my classroom. I even remember his name. His name was Avi, Avi, and he was playing with Sundown from Cops Fighting Crime in a Future Time, and they're like oversized GI Joes in a lot of ways. They're 6-inch GI Joes. They're still made by Hasbro. They're practically in the GI Joe universe even. Um, and he like snapped Sundown's uh, torso because it's an elastic like an old GI Joe. And I remember seeing that. I remember this kid was laughing at him, and I went up to him and I'm like, "No, you could probably fix it. It's just an elastic band." Because I had at the time I had Highway, who was the highway patrol guy, and I knew that my Highway had that rubber band in it. And I told him, yeah, if you just unscrew the screw in the back and you find a rubber band because they're much bigger than Joe's, you could probably fix it. And I remember that. And that was like one of my first like, hey, you could fix a toy kind of experience. And then like, breaking one of my Spider-Man toys from Toy Biz and, crazy gluing the arm on because nothing you could do, you know, like, so, those early DIYs, you know, and then the love of cars, the love of racing, the love of Transformers that turn into cars that also have racing, and then fixing those. And then that just, the domino effect of that kind of led me into car mechanics because of it. I 100% believe that was the case. If you don't have those stories, I don't think I would be there. I'd probably be doing something else. So it's funny how the world is. It's funny how an experience in your life could domino effect into what you do with the rest of your life. So very cool, very cool. But I'm sure everyone has that story. Whatever they do today as a career is probably due to something that happened to them. You know, very, very cool. But geez, how much time we got left? We still got an hour. Wow, we still got an hour left. That's great. Usually when I feel like I'm rambling, I'm like, oh, it's gonna only be like 10 minutes left. Uh, but yeah, might as well talk about some other sponsors. We gotta talk also about the Toy Armada. Again, Aaron Archer, go check out his segment. Aaron didn't do a live stream yesterday. I was surprised. But then again, Aaron right now is still like he just recently moved back to Rhode Island, so he's still setting up everything. I'm pretty sure he's probably still trying to figure out his I call it his framing, He's probably still trying to figure that out. So, I mean, he's not I don't even think he's in the chat here today. So, he's doing his thing. So you'll probably see some more Toy Armada and Aaron Archer content maybe in the next week or so. There's convention season's going to be coming up in 2 months or so, so he's got to get that all together. I got to work on some stuff too. I got some secret stuff going on behind the scenes. But again, go check that out. Go check out Aaron's new book. Again, it already debuted at TFCon. Art of Transforming Robots, Volume 3. I got my copy. You should go get yours. archermonster.com/shop, as well as what is left right now of the Posca paintings. There hasn't been updates to the Posca painting store because again, he's in the middle of a move. So the paint to paper has not been as frequent for the time being. So again, go check those out too. Tom Laney, I picked up the Gamer Decepticon Trooper. The plastic feels soft. They must have moved away from harder plastic. I don't know about that. If you're talking softer plastics, are you referring to MABS, which let me find an example of that. What do I got here on the old desk? Uh, a lot of ABS on this one. Yeah, there's some MABS. MABS would be like the horns here on Chop Shop. You know, it's more of a hollowed out plastic that's used for cost saving measures. ABS, actually, it's probably used also for the back, but that's a little bit of POM too. It depends how much the mold pours it and how thin or thick they make the mold. But usually the average transformer in general is today. It's different back then, but today it's usually MABS, POMs for usually joints or friction transformation areas will be POM plastic. You'll have the odd vinyl or vinyl rubber area. Not so much maybe on this, but let's take out my boy here, Hot Rod. Those wheels are all vinyl, which we could call rubber wheels, but it's a vinyl plastic that's treated to be more like a rubber. And then after that, it's there's very very little much else outside of that. You know, again, no one else talks about this stuff, so I'm glad when people ask these questions because I'm always happy to talk about it. You know, always happy to talk about it. Uh, T-Formers 2002 retracted his question. I don't know what he asked there. Prince and Phalanx 59. I received my 2 Studio Series 86 swoops yesterday. Very cool. I have not gotten one yet. I have not seen one locally. I don't know if I'll see one locally. Maybe I'll be screwed with that. I'm probably going to plan a short trip to the States maybe in the near future and just do a quick border cross because I'm very lucky because where I'm located, I'm like half an hour away from the United States if I need to go. And I've been thinking about planning a trip. I'm not sure when, but I definitely want to do it maybe in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So it's something where, or a trip to Japan. I'm not too sure yet. I don't know. That's a whole other conversation. Just wake up one morning and go, you know what? I'm going to Japan. Um, Shout out to Lou who could hook me up with that. But yeah, that's pretty cool, man. Swoop is awesome. And now your Dinobots are complete. At least your core Dinobots. Eyes on Ace. I'm here looking for Studio Series concept Sunstreaker on shelves. Looks like the Cybertron version of Dragstep. I'm surprised because he's pretty. I don't know. Maybe it's just here in Canada, Quebec, Montreal. He's pretty common here. I see him on the shelves quite frequently. I mean, I didn't go to Walmart today. Usually I go to Walmart and Toys R Us and kind of do like a toy update in my mind of what's in the market. Um, but I didn't go this weekend. So, but last few times I was there, I was seeing Sunstreaker. I was seeing Sunstreaker. A lot of TF1 product is now starting to hit. All of the Earthspark and Rise of the Beast mainline has been shifted to liquidation. So if you like just little Proto Man Patreon freebie here, um, go check out when you go to your Walmarts, don't go straight to the toy aisle. Like go to like the early aisles that usually you would see the play school stuff and everything. They usually have like one of the first aisles would be a liquidation aisle, and they've been putting a lot of the Earthspark and Rise of the Beast product there pretty cheap. So go check that out if you want. And get yourself some cheap Rise of the Beast stuff. I got a whole bunch of the little dudes that transform into weapons, like the Cheetor, the uh, the Skull Cruncher, and the Rhinox and everything. I got those guys. Those were like $3 Canadian, which is like $1.50, $2 American. So I wasn't gonna say no to that. And some of the others I was kind of eyeing, but I could feel it could go even less. Especially the Earthspark stuff. I want to get some Earthspark stuff, but then part of me is like, maybe I just want to get the Japanese stuff. I don't know. Mike Rosen with the YouTube member question. I was lucky enough to get Tiger Hawk and Silverbolt. Silverbolt, I had not seen at all, the Voyager class. He's someone that I would buy full price if I had the opportunity. Just because it's Beast Wars and Silverbolt's awesome, you know. Uh, James says he's common in West Michigan. I assume you're referring to Swoop. Um, Fun Bee Studio paddles conversion kit sounds. Oh, there's a conversion kit that turns sludge into paddles. That's pretty cool. I think we'll get a paddles one day. I think we'll get a paddles one day. And Grant says, I've yet to see any swoops. I don't blame you there, Grant. I'm in the same boat currently. Mark Morales with the gold super chat. Thank you, Mark, for the gold super chat of $10. Always great to have people supporting the podcast. The debate about Studio Series 86 Megatron was inevitable since we've been burned by siege molds for 5 years. The gun mold was never going to happen, but how can the robot mode be accurate with a new tank mode? Well, again, I feel that, I look at a lot of animated toys that were designed by Eric Siebeneller and Aaron Archer and Derek Wyatt. And again, I apologize to the fourth guy who worked on Bumblebee and a few others, who is no longer with Hasbro. I keep forgetting his name. If someone in the chat, if they know who I'm talking about, I want to give him his flowers. You know, those guys were so good at like hiding kibble. Look at animated Hot Rod, Rodimus. Look how those legs just, where's the car? You know, like they were really good at that. And if you bring in some of those masterpiece guys too, the Shogo Hosuis, like I said, the Kobayashi Sans, the Yuki Ashimas, those guys are really good at it too. So it's something where there's always a new way to twist and turn a mold. And yeah, I get it. The siege mold is so played out. It's seeker level at this point, considering how many times it was repainted and retooled. But you know, someone keeps buying them. Someone keeps buying them. So it's, to me, like I said, there will be a gun Megatron. It just won't be in the places that people will be satisfied with. And when they do a missing link gun Megatron that's animation accurate with a new head sculpt and a mace, I'll buy it. I bought Missing Link Optimus. I can't wait to get Missing Link Cliff Jumper. I didn't get the Bumblebee, but I'm definitely getting the Cliff Jumper. I can't wait for Missing Link Cliff Jumper. Those things are cool. As someone who grew up with those G1 toys and have a nostalgia and a connection with them, um, those things are rad as hell. It's a dream in a lot of ways. So that's how we'll get a gun Megatron. Japan will do it. Look, next year, it's the 40th anniversary starting to roll out for 2024 for us. But 2025 next year is the 40th anniversary for Japan's Transformers. That's when they got everything. So we have a whole other year of 40th anniversary for the Japanese market that they could play up and go, here we go. G1 Megatron, missing Rinku, animation color, toy color, you know, they'll do that. They'll totally do it. They're probably just waiting for the opportunity. Uh, Studio Series 86 Megatron hides kibble well, I think. Well, they all do. Like it to me, the way I see it is they'll do something that will so favor the robot mode that the tank mode is going to be like lie down and like a turret pops out. Like they'll do something that's bare bones for a tank mode, but who cares? It'll still have a transforming element, but it'll look like the Fluoro Deary animation model from the cartoon. And
Megatron must
people will buy it. People will complain, but they will buy it. They will buy it. Talib, I saw quite a bit on clearance this weekend at Walmart. Early Christmas shopping for my son. $5 G2 Mirage. That's fantastic. That's a great Mirage mold. Watermelon Mirage every day of the week. And $10 Rise of the Beast TF. Oh, that's a great one too, because that mask was way overpriced. So great price, especially that $5 Mirage. That's fantastic. Any of those Toxitron collection deluxes, if you could get them $5 a piece, get them all, man. Laser Rod, like the Tiger Stripe side swipe, like those, man, those are bangers at $5. Great, great. I'm happy for you, Talib. That's great stuff, especially the G2 Mirage. I love that. I love that mold. Every time I look at it, because it's something that it's like an unreleased idea. It's a mold that I love. It's a wacky color scheme. It just speaks to me. Talib also says, "Will Takara give us an MP rat trap?" I would love it if they did. I'm looking at my Beast Wars masterpiece display right now, and right now I still to this day use Generations rat trap as my stand-in because the core class one is just too tiny. Um, One day or not, what I say is just keep holding on to that Generations rat trap for now, because that's a small Man, that's a small masterpiece if they do make it. Like they would really have to pad that out somehow. It would have to be like, no joke, it would have to be masterpiece rat trap with the entire center table console of the Axelon, where they all hang out together and talk across the table from each other. They'd have to include some like big accessory just to justify a masterpiece box or something. Like I know it sounds silly, and you know what? Now that I think about it, I kind of would like that because that would be kind of cool to like if they had the table and they're all talking about Optimus Primal going crazy because of guerrilla warfare. We got to help him out. He's going crazy. Like I don't know. I think that would be cool. But I'm a Beast Wars simp. I love Beast Wars to death. So if you give me some Beast Wars accessories of the background or anything, sign me up. That'd be kind of cool. But I would like it. But it's just he's the last member of of the core five, and he's the most difficult because of his size. Dinobot. We got Tigatron before him, and it wasn't because Tigatron was a straight up Cheetor repaint. Tigatron was a from the ground up kind of figure. You know, so very very cool. We'll see. We will see. T Formers 2002 hoping to see a leader class Dinobot Scar one day. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. Leader class, I don't know. You know what? It's something where does Hasbro want to use a leader class price point, which is already pretty rarefied? You can only get two per wave, and they always have a carryover package refresh. Or, do you want Scar to kind of be like smaller, like make him like a tall Voyager? He's still part of the team, but because he's not part of the original five, he's the runt of the little litter. There's ways you could have fun with that. You know, there's ways you could have fun with it. But yeah, where we at? Where we at? The watermelon racer I call G2 Mirage. Damn right. Damn right. It's just because of Hubba Bubba. It's just in high school, I used to get the Hubba Bubba watermelon bubble gum, and it was uh pink on the outside and had green on the inside. And it just reminds me of that. And that G2 Mirage came out in the 90s, so it's kind of like it's so 90s. It's so 90s. Um, but yeah. Patrick Brown, so masterpiece movie bronze tank cannon folds away into his body. The tank parts that figure are all but gone in bot mode. I can see how it's possible that tank parts could be used for the leader megs. Yeah, and again, that's masterpiece. Like masterpiece is always the breeding ground of creativity and engineering, meaning like they take masterpieces, they have this open-ended budget that they have in Takara, and they just make these perfect figures. And then because they have that open-ended budget to be creative, they go, huh, interesting, cool, that's great. And then they pull off like, MPO1, and then they're able to pull it off as a tiny robot master just a couple of years later. And like, hey, how could what did we learn from that? Can we shrink that down? I firmly believe what was learned from the Kobayashi MP9 Rodimus was infused into the animated version. Like stuff that was learned from the Kobayashi one was used for the animated one. When we look at Masterpiece Dinobot, Masterpiece Tigatron, you know that engineering and tooling was used towards those Kingdom versions. So it's a breeding ground for creativity. So we've had tank masterpieces, like you just said. I'm sure some ideas will find their way and will not hold it back. Alden Tolbert for the $2 super chat. Thank you, Alden. Thank you for the love and support. We need MP Waspinator. Yes, we do. MP Waspinator needs to come with a thin piece of clear plastic, almost something that's almost celluloid, and that'll be like a flat waspinator when he gets crushed. It needs to come with a waspinator that's shaped like a cube with a little arm. It needs to come with the waspinator figure with interchangeable head with the Decepticon logo and Starscream elements if you want to put that too, with his guns and stuff and everything. But it needs to come with arms that come off. It needs to come with like the other half of the box would be all the ways that waspinator got messed up, you know? Needs to come with all kinds of crazy things. That would be the best figure. It would be so cool. It'd be so cool because who there's not a man on the planet who watches Beast Wars that hates Waspinator. He's great. He's so great. Scott McNeil, bang up job, man. James Hopkins, Gen selects leader class. I must have missed a conversation. Talib says that MPM Brawl is a great figure. Highly recommended. I don't have that one yet, but that'd be a cool one to pick up. He's a big boy, eh? He's a big one, that one. So he's a little more pricey. James Hogg, I think 86 Megatron will be a commander class due to the engineering he will need. I don't know about that. Because you know that they're going to want to keep a scale that's fine. And when you look at, look, I got to handle in hand Studio Series 86 Optimus at San Diego Comic Con. He's a large Voyager, he's a large, so a Commander Megatron, what are you giving him that justifies? Because like they're going to have a big box because you can't say, oh, it's a commander class, but it's a smaller box and say, oh, it's because of the complexity of the engineering. They're going to figure out something. If they have to cut corners in some areas, look at, the commander class 86 Optimus, the paint deco areas, some of the paint hits are lacking, but that's the limitations of the budget, you know? So it's hard to say. I think it'll be a leader with a bunch of extra stuff at best, or a Voyager, you know, but a leader at best. Uh, James, MP Waspinator Rat Trap 2-pack. I don't know about a 2-pack. Masterpieces don't really go that route. They're more a celebration of an individual item that would be a first. The only 2-packs I could really say are the cassettes with Soundwave, but those are kind of historical. Those original cassettes came in 2-packs, and then the other side of my brain's going, yeah, well, Proto Man in Japan got 2-packs of characters, so you could kind of get away with that. Well, they kind of already did that with Beast Wars Returns and Beast Wars Again, with those highly painted premium versions. So both sides of my brain are arguing about how they could go about it, but maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong. I don't know. There's many ways you could kind of look at it. T-Formers 2002 MP version 2 Bumblebee is quite small, so Rat Trap should be able to come on his own and a few accessories. I could see that. I know what you're talking about. The one that's the more animation accurate G1 one. I'm looking at it right now. It's next to Exhaust, oddly enough, in terms of scale. And then I'm looking at the Rat Trap. I guess so. I guess so. You might be right. Bumblebee's a tiny guy. Rat Trap's a tiny guy. There is an expectation of that. How small was that box? I don't remember. How small was the box for the Bumblebee? I don't remember how small that was. I think it was like the same size of like the cars, like the side swipes and the wheel jacks and the Datsuns. I think I remember that. Hmm. I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right, my man. I'm just looking at them both now because I have my masterpiece display of G1 and then I have the Beast Wars ones. Yeah, you might be right. Waspinator's my spirit animal, says Grant. Well, I think much like Waspinator, we should always be happy again. Finally happy. We should all find happiness. And that is truly Waspinator's pursuit, is to just be happy and be cool biker bot. For spoiler for something from Beast Machines 20 years later. But yeah, it's a possibility. I mean, like I bought um I forget what the third party company's name was, but they did a wheelie many years ago. I think it was Metal Force or something. They did like a banger masterpiece wheelie figure. And the only reason, Proto Man buying third party, wow, because in my mind I was like, man, they're never gonna do a masterpiece wheelie. So, there's Aaron. Yeah, you're not too late, Aaron. Last half hour or so. There he is. Too busy cleaning, I guess. I don't blame you. You didn't do a segment yesterday. I had nothing to promote. Go check Aaron's stuff. But yeah, got that masterpiece wheelie, and it has metal in it. That's pretty cool. Just because I felt like it wasn't gonna happen. That was a Genzhou design, if I remember correctly. And Genzhou, and what was the other guy that worked on it? Oh my God, he was the guy who also did the Cyclonus. Third party dude from China. Very talented dude. Very, very talented dude. He shows how to make like female characters like amazingly and stuff. Great stuff. T-Formers 2002 MP Waspinator should be able to take the pred symbol off and wave it eventually. MP Inferno. Quick Strike needs to happen. Supposedly we're going to be getting a core class of him. That's always the rumor. I want an updated Quick Strike figure only because the original was great, but it needed some deco on it to make it match how it looked in the show. The Inferno is, I mean, if you get like the Beast Wars again Inferno, it's such a great figure that it's just like masterpiece Inferno. How much better could it be? It'll be that toy slightly better. That's all it could be really. That's all it could really be. Um, but yeah, cleaning and moving heavy boxes, says Aaron Archer. I could only imagine. I am so jealous of what is probably in those boxes. All the cool stuff. Aaron, I showed this recently. Did you ever get sent by Tom DeSanto? Did he ever send you tickets to see any of the old movies? Like stuff like this? Like did you ever get like this ticket to go see it at the Chinese theater? This was for 2007, obviously. And let me get the other one here. Did you get this one? And if so, did they do this was the other one. Did they do one for Dark of the Moon? Because when they sent me the Dark of the Moon one, it was just digital. Either it wasn't worth it to send it to some weirdo, or was it just rarefied for the special people? Um, yeah. But I hope you're having fun. I could only imagine the cool stuff that you're going through. Man, I love toys. I can only imagine the cool stuff. Can only imagine. I got no new toys. I didn't buy much this week at all. Like all the stuff that came in the mail this week. Actually, I probably want to address that. So, I want to address to Patreon people. So, I shipped out a bunch of packages to Patreon people recently. People at the super fan tier and people for the TFCon exclusive. 50% of them got to people. The other 50% of them got rejected and sent back. Apparently, there was an issue at Canada Post over something. So if you did not get your Patreon packages in the mail, they just got sent back to me. I'm going to resend them out the following, post office closed early today, and tomorrow it's going to probably be closed. I'm going to try to ship them out again Monday, Tuesday, and I'm going to just pay a little more for the shipping just to like make sure it covers it. I don't know what happened. I have to talk to the post office. They all got sent back to me. I don't know what happened. So if you haven't got your Patreon packages in the mail, of the TFCon stuff or the super fan tier, there was some weird shenanigans going on with Canada Post. I don't know what happened. Even Joseph of Symbiote Studios, he sent me a package and it got bounced back to him. So I don't know what's going on. This is what happens when the government takes care of your postal service, as opposed to it being a privately owned company that could have competition and lead to the best prices and services. Whole other story. Anyways, but yeah. Uh, So just an update for that for people. Rudy Mack, gun tank jet dinosaur helicopter truck? Question mark. Looks like I got caught up with the broadcast. How you doing, Rudy Mack? Welcome to the madness. Um, Mayoral fabrication with the $2 super chat. Do Hasbro Takara ever upscale molds? No, they don't really upscale molds. They use something as a foundation and then they make a new tool. For years there's always been rumors of like, oh, like this Energon Energon Starscream. Hope I didn't screw up the camera there. Energon Starscream. They took the smoke screen G2 smoke jumper mold and they just blew it up. No, they didn't. You know, a lot of times when it looks like they blew it up, it's more them taking something and just kind of using it as an inspiration. Even like Evan, I think Evan said something like they took like a mold and they blew it up. I forget which one it was, but he didn't really blow it up so much as they're doing everything in CAD and computer enhanced designs and stuff, and they're kind of just using it as a foundation and making it bigger. When they say blow it up, they mean take the mold and make it bigger, but not using the original tool and blowing it up, you know? Not like in a bootleg sense. Like bootleggers have done that. They take a mold and they make it larger and they bootleg it. I wish I had examples nearby. I have one example that's a small. Yeah, this one's a shrink down. Cyber Stomp Bumblebee, the old Cyber Stomp Bumblebee. This is a bootleg that they hollowed it out and then they put like a button in the back so it glows. This one's obviously the battery's dead. So this is a miniature version of Cyber Stomp Bumblebee that's in Cliff Jumper colors. So that's why I have it because it's like, oh, it's Cyber Stomp Bumblebee, but in Cliff Jumper colors because Bumblebee in red was Cliff Jumper. So that's probably the only example that I would have nearby me. So pretty cool. Um, Aaron Archer, no, mine is always the studio debut. Entertainment Tonight type, no civilians. Very good. So at least you get so the ones that I got sent originally from Tom DeSanto, these were the ones that supposedly were for like early reviewers or something. So I don't know who would have been there because obviously I didn't go. That's why I still have the tickets. And then they would send me like again compensation locally, which I then kept that ticket, just the stub, and that was like also like a reviewer thing. I don't know. I'm just kind of curious if they ever sent you those too. We got some gold super chats. Thank you, Buyer Mayoral, for the question. Very good. Gold super chat from Robotimus Toys. Uh, that's in Euro. That's pretty cool. Hey Proto, finally picked up a Legacy Armada Optimus Prime and it's perfect. Do you think they will do a Titan class Armada Unicron someday? I think the next time we get a Unicron toy, it will be something in that nature. I think that the Unicron trademark is coming up, and they did. Super Seven kind of saved their bacon and did a Unicron recently to kind of buy them 4 years. But I do feel sooner or later we will get a big Unicron toy again, and it will be like a Titan class. Unicron Armada would be cool because there's a unique design to him with the M on the forehead and the translucent plastics for the alt mode and stuff, and the missile that comes out of the chest that could then be reinterpreted as a blast effect instead, like a huge blast effect. That'd be cool. And then they could repaint it into clear green and do the Minicon one, the Micron Unicron. So that's two molds right there. Then you do the black repaint. There's three. You got a winner, you know? Three repaints out of a Titan. Way to go. I think so. And as for Armada Optimus Prime being perfect, yes, it is. It's everything the animation model ever wanted to be. And then some. If I have one complaint, um, it's I find that the head sculpt for the super mode needs more. I don't know how to put it, like exhausty kind of look to it. It's just a little more of that. But aside from that, I love it. Great figure, great figure. But who cares what I think? Aaron thinks it's great, so who cares about what I think? Yeah, he worked on it. Time on the end for the $2 super chat. How do you think Excuse me, how long do you think Studio Series 86 is? Do you think? Wait, how long you think until Studio Series 86 is over with? I think they'll run it into the ground. It's Studio Series 86 is a second coming of classics in that it's a way to get everyone to buy all those characters that they bought before again. Everyone bought Soundwave. They bought the Netflix one. They bought this version, that version. They're going to buy the leader class, Legacy United one, and then they're going to do they're going to do a Studio Series 86 one. They're going to make you buy it all over again. Look at everyone who bought, Springer from Siege. They made you buy it again. So to me, they're going to ride that as long as they can. Studio Series 86 is a brand. It's no longer just celebrating the 30th anniversary of the 86 movie. It's a brand now at this point, a subsection of the brand. I hope I didn't miss anything. But thank you, a time of the end, $2 super chat. Thank you very much. T Formers 2000 still two. Man, I am burnt today. T-Formers 2002 still haven't got Armada Prime. Hope to one day, but I'm a bit mad with the current aftermarket prices. That's the sad thing is that, and look, we don't blame you. Look how Commander classes historically were. Rodimus went on clearance with Kingdom. The Motormaster found itself in Ollie's, afterwards. So if you were following the trends, you would just assume, okay, I guess sooner or later Armada Optimus is going to end up also in clearance at some point, and that didn't really happen. You know, Aaron, you're right. Needs a minicon, but you know what they're doing, Aaron. You know what they're doing. You know what they're doing. That new price point. You know what they're doing. Sell them the cigarette, but don't sell them the lighter that activates the cigarette. Get them to buy the lighter on the side. But yeah, segmentation. That's a good point, Aaron. Yeah, it's different segment. It's a segmentation. You've used that term before. It's a separate segmentation of the brand. And it's its own thing. Again, it started as a celebration, like a thrilling 30 was before with Generations, and then it just it got a life of its own. It became a marketable part. Man, you got to get Studio Series 86 numbered, bang, like Gamer Edition that we have now and concept editions and stuff. So it's building out that segmentation. T-Formers 2002, same thing with Commander Magnus. He just came and went. I think those higher price point items, the Commander classes and the Titans that take a lot of shelf space, they just don't have a proper place in the retail world outside of, like, let's say GameStop or collector section of a Toys R Us Canada. I mean, I saw Ultra Magnus at a GameStop here, and that's where usually I'll find a Titan class. You'll find the odd Titan class in Toys R Us Canada, and same thing with Commanders. But you're not going to find that in Walmart, Target, Walgreens. No, So it's part of that Walmart SKU, and I'm pretty sure Walmart's like, hey, we love what you do, Hasbro, but we don't got space for that anymore. And every time we allocated space for that, no one bought it, and that would have been Rodimus before. Obviously we can't really use Skylinks as an example because that was knee deep during the big V, but or COVID, I guess I could say now. But so everything is a gut reaction to how the money moves, and Hasbro probably went, okay, we'll make less of this. We'll put it more on Amazon, and we now have Hasbro Pulse as a direct market kind of thing. And they probably just figured we'll do it like that. And it's very hard for things to have a softening of a price if it doesn't go on clearance. No one is scalping Earthspark or Rise of the Beast product or Beast Wars reissues, because there's a softening of the market, and there's plenty of that out there where, let's be real, there's still places that have some legacy evolution products still kicking around on shelves. in a world where Commander Class Optimus Prime is a retail product, he would still be kicking around too, and then people would still be able to pick it up, at least at best, MSRP. A Toys R Us that's still holding on to old product would have a Commander Class from last year, but that's not the case. So because you don't have it there, so it's tough. It's tough. And again, they learned their lesson because Rodimus didn't do well in retail. Motormaster didn't do well in retail. They ended up, Rodimus was clearance everywhere. Motormaster was in ollies. So I think that they learned from that. And then as a result, boom, maybe our next commander won't be in retail. What are you saying, Aaron? Aaron Archer says every additional sub brand is a segment. Armada, Universe, True G1, the reissues, Commemorative, as it was called at the time, Movieverse, Creo, Alternators, Masterpiece, BotBots, and BotShots, Animated, Legacy, and on, all segments of the Transformers brand. Thank you, Aaron. But yeah, James Hopkins, Titan Fortress Maximus is the last thing I bought at Toys R Us before they went under here in the States. Yeah, geez, when was the last toy? Because I'm trying to think, because the last Toys R Us exclusive before they went under was that Studio Series weird repaint of Nitro Zeus, which was the Thundercracker. It was the very last true exclusive. So, and that was, what year was that? Yeah, that was probably around the time of Fort Max. Yeah, you're right. That was around that 2016, 2017-ish. Yeah, it sounds about right. Yeah, 2016, I'd have to say. Archer, okay, I already read that. But yeah, we got 20 minutes left. 20 minutes left in the craziness. Aaron, tell everyone how we can make a gun Megatron. Let's put fire to the fuel. Tell everyone how we're gonna make a gun Megatron show up in Walmart. Tell me your secret. Are we gonna, show them that purple and orange G1 commemorative Megatron that never happened. That would have been a waste of time. There you go, T-Formers. Summer of 2017. There we go. Almost got it. 16, 17. It was around then. James Hobson's, yeah, I got the Titans Return Blaster 2 at the same time. Sarah says, I am happy that currently Legacy Beast Wars figures aren't the same 5mm peg holes like Prime and animated figures. Well, they're phasing out of that, that kind of play pattern where they had the what were they called there? The weaponizers, you know. Sarah says, "Where's your where's your legacy big red dragon?" I never got one. I never got one. Saw him once in Walmart and just didn't pick him up that day and then never saw him again. I will get one day. I'm the kind of guy that I could live with buying one loose complete, from a guy who's unloading his collection. So I could wait, you know. Aaron had to get one because he has his reasons for connection to that character from a design standpoint, very important to him. But I could wait. I could wait. Give me the Cryotech repaint, then maybe I'll bite the bullet right away. Prince of Phalanx 59. I wonder if Takara will make a Missing Link Megatron. I think they will. I think next year they could make an excuse to do that because it'll be their 40th anniversary for Transformers next year. So I think it will. It'll be, just how we have C1 Optimus for the anime and regular. We have C2 and C3 Bumblebee and Cliffjumper, Bumble and Cliff, and then we'll get a D1 Megatron, Emperor of Destruction, both anime and toy colors, for sure. For sure. Rudy Mack with the $10 super chat. Thank you, Rudy Mack, for the love and support. Hey, Proto, name the last fig that you pulled out of those fancy closet displays and then transforms into alt mode and then back into robot mode. I'm curious. I want a gun Megatron. Funny thing, One of those would be the 84 gun Megatron and Optimus. Just last week we did Otakuthon Montreal, and I was in charge of the Hasbro 40th anniversary Transformer display, and that's where we debuted to the world this guy right here. Ooh, will show you the light up gimmick. Boom, with the Matrix in the chest. How can I not show the Matrix in the chest? So we debuted him to the world at that con. That was the worldwide in-person debut of the beautiful model kit of Blocky. And we had the Megatron and Optimus on display because we wanted to show a comparison of here's like 40 years ago. So that Megatron I actually transformed because people wanted to see the gun mode. So I transformed it quickly and showed it and then put it back because you don't want to make trouble. One of the other items that probably Mayoral Fabrication might be familiar with this one, the reverse Megatron, reverse convoy Revenge Megatron. Had to take a photo shoot of him. So I'd have to say those three. The original 84 Optimus, who's all the way up there, which you can't even see because he's behind the over there because everything's in number order. And I just screwed up the camera. 84 Optimus, 84 Megatron, and reverse convoy Revenge Megatron, who's on it. Another Optimus Megatron. So that would have to be the last stuff that I pulled out of those displays. Before that, uh, maybe I have all the way over here. You can't see it. I have the 3-inch Death Head figure that I got from the Marvel Legends 3-inch line back in the day. I had to pull him out of the shelf because I got the 6-inch San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. So I did a photo shoot with that. Technically a Transformer thing because I keep them in the G1 Miscellanea display all the way over there. The G1 Miscellanea is all the way located over there. You can't see it. And that's where I put like the e-hobby stuff, the reissues that are like weird reissues in coloring. So I put all that stuff there. But you also want a gun Megatron, and I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Look, it's a piece of G1 history. He was only a gun for 2 years, and then he became Galvatron. But it's the beginning. It's a piece of history. It has its controversial nature to it, so that makes it kind of cool. I get you. I get you. It won't happen in the West, but I get you. Airy Nuts with the $5 super chat. How you doing, Airy? Thoughts on the next potential Universal Monsters collaboration? More fusers when? I always felt, why haven't they done? Because like when you look at Takara's history, ooh, should I get that book? Let me get the book. One moment, guys. One moment. Let me get the. I always like to reference this. So back in the day, so there's Dracula, there's the Fly, and then you have the creature from the Black Lagoon there. So I feel like they could do the Fly, they could do the creature from the Black Lagoon, because those are also Universal monsters. So, by the way, this is the book. Generations, this is the deluxe edition, which is the better one that has the extras. How you could tell, it has the different embras on the front. It's been reissued recently, I believe. So there's a new printing of it, so you could pick it up on Amazon.jp. So I would imagine do those next. Do the creature of the dark, what was it? Creature of the Black Lagoon, creature of the Dark Lagoon. That could be the next one. Use a fish transformer. You know, use something like that. Um, and then you have an excuse for a fish mold, and then you could do a Cyber Shark or anyone. And more fusers when? Oh, dude, I want fusers until the end of time, man. I want all those. I want Injector, the ugliest fusers of them all. I want Airhammer, that Shark Hawk hybrid. What a cool toy that one was. That was a basic scale, you know. So like, that'd be really cool. A lot of them are nice, you know. That'd be really cool to have. But yeah, that would definitely be like the next ones, just because, when you look at the historical connotations of stuff that was planned back in the day with Takara to make it happen today, That'd be a really cool one. You know, again, he was just a fish. You know, just a fish. Um, I think they could probably make it more exciting than a fish. You know, make it like a crocodile or something, but we'll see. Thank you for the super chat. Airy. Sarah, so just reverse Megatron, animated Shockwave, and Punch Counterpunch are the only figures with two robot modes that exist. Blah, blah, blah. There's got to be more than that. There's got to be more than that. I mean, let's see, animated Shockwave you mentioned, Punch Counterpunch, reverse Megatron. There has to be more than that. There's got to be. We're forgetting something when you have two robot modes. Well, in the case of like, if we're going to count him, that means just a new head, right? He just changes his head. Nothing else changes. There's a lot of Transformers that have interchangeable heads that could convey different things. So, that's where it's like two different robot modes, you know, like punch, counter punch. That's two different robot modes. No argument there. Animated Shockwave, yeah, the arms and legs stretch and there's little twists and turns, still different, two different robot modes. I mean, if we're going to talk about that, MPO9 Rodimus goes from Hot Rod to Rodimus Prime. He stretches, the arms stretch out, the face changes, so there's that one. I mean, if we're going to talk about that, I'm sure I'm forgetting others, but I'm pretty sure they exist. I mean, technically, we have that Transformer 1 figure that goes from Optimus to Orion and back and forth. So I'm pretty sure there's others. I know I must be forgetting them, but I mean, if we're gonna go that route where it's like it's the character is just a head swap, you know, that's a whole other different animal. Sadly, we need more fish Transformers. Sarah says, I agree. I agree. Give me like more sharks. Give me more, do like do like a jellyfish, do like a crazy jellyfish one. I mean, you could always have fun with like squids and everything that's all tentacles and stuff that could be used as extra limbs or like they break off to make guns. You could always have fun with that. And James, you're right. Excuse for a new Skybite or a Cyber Shark, Transmetal. You do a Skybite, then you do a Transmetal 2 Cyber Shark. Both of them right there. And then you do Pirate Shark, you know, afterwards. T-Formers 2002, give us Torca Injector. Sky Shadow's another great one. Sky Shadow's a fantastic mold. That's one that people slept on. Love that figure. And the Neo Blentrons from Beast Wars Neo. Yeah. That's where you would put all the repaints. That's where they would live. You do those as like Hasbro Pulse exclusives, the Neo repaints of some of those. Give us a Torca that doesn't suffer from GPS too. That'd be pretty badass. You know, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. I dig it. I dig it. I dig it. Again, if you want this book, I'm not sponsored. I'm just saying, so you could go get some cool educational material. Amazon.jp has a reissue of it, I believe, up right now. I don't have the. Do I have the reissue? Hold on a second. Let me check. Oh, I do. Excuse me. So here, I could show you all three versions next to each other, and that way you know what you're getting. So this is the original, dog-eared, because guess who used this as a reference back in the day like crazy? Look at the condition of this. I should probably track down one day a minty version of version 1. I could probably get it cheap too, because no one wants the version 1 because it's flawed. And then you have version 2, that's the deluxe edition. You could see here the gold in the center. So that's the difference there. And then the reissue, now keep in mind there's an obi on this, which is something that they wrap around. Japanese books always have cross advertising. This is the reissue, which looks exactly the same. It has an obi on it, advertising you know, Rise of the Beast and everything. It's exactly the same. I don't think there's anything new with this one. Let me check. Oh, you know what's different? I could tell right now. So the reissue, the difference is the paper quality feels more papery, where the original one, it's gloss paper. So maybe you might want to still get the deluxe first printing. And then what's the, wow, look at inflation on that. 2,800 yen, 3,800 yen, 1,000 yen difference. And this one came out, what's the year on this one? The reissue one. 2012. and this was just last year. So, oh, Butters, what's up, G? Let's bring you on camera. Everyone always wants to see you. What's up? Come on up. There we go. Where are we at? Where are we at? Yeah, those three US toys were Blentrons. They would make a great box set. Yeah, totally. Especially if you make them deluxes, and we already have those four pack deluxes and everything. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool. Sarah says I was trolling a friend and said I was trolling a friend who said it only took the G1 guys 40 years to get a definitive Ultra Magnus figure, and only took the Beast Wars boys 30 years for a Megatron Dragon. Well, I mean, it's debatable. I mean, what is a really good Ultra Magnus? Do you want something that's a self-contained transformation? Do you want something that has it where you have a robot mode wrapped around a white Optimus? I mean, the masterpieces exist, and I think those are great. You know, I like the masterpiece Ultra Magnus, even the powered Commander kind of colored one too. So it's gonna be powered Convoy. Um, that's also nice. Butters in the house. Butters, come say hi to everyone. Come say hi. Come say hi to everybody. Oh, you just Butters is now touching the keyboard. Don't do anything. Say what's up, G. He's just chilling. He's just chilling. He just wants to sit in my lap. That's all it is. He always meows and then he just wants to sit in my lap. Um, Grant Brown, sorry, was backing up a semi truck. Did we talk about fish transformers? Are we getting a whale tidal wave? Hey man, that'd be cool as hell. That'd be cool as hell. I want a whale transformer. We've never had a whale transformer outside of like a killer whale, you know, like Torca or Orkanock, but we've never had like give me a blue whale, give me a finback whale, give me a beluga, you know. Man, we never even had a dolphin. Imagine, you know, like we never had like a legitimate like just dolphin transformer. Like we have Fusor stuff, which is like it's this and this, but man, like that'd be cool. That'd be cool. You know, that'd be really cool. That'd be really cool. Speaking of fish, man, we're talking fish transformers. Speaking of fish, when are we supposed to get our Skybite? I mean, look, they did Buzzworthy Bumblebee refresh the Skybite trademark because they took the old Cyberverse toys and they reissued them. I think it was what, like last year or the year before that, they reissued the Skybite, who was part of that assortment. And I almost guarantee, like if I was a betting man, I'd guarantee they did that only just to keep the trademark going for another 4 because they probably have no plans to do anything with Skybite in the recent. You know, there's Bloodthirsty War Dolphin. You know what's up. That I did that review years ago. Google Proto Retro Bloodthirsty War Dolphin. That's my old channel where I reviewed that crazy toy. Sperm whale. Hey man, giggity on the sperm whale, but I would love a sperm whale transformer. That's like some Moby Dick giggity, some Moby Dick action. And sperm whales are cool as hell. Sperm whales are cool as hell. They are very cool design. Humpback whale. Yeah, there's so many. Like it's just like that would be like that's such a great idea because like think of like all the big transformer characters that are aquatic based. Like stuff like you could reinterpret a uh a broadside, and have him be like a Beast Wars character as a whale. Like that'd be so cool. And like, how does he transport people? He just opens his mouth like Disney style, like Pinocchio, and he goes in the mouth and then closes, and then that's how he transports people underwater, like a submarine almost. Like man, like why hasn't anyone done that? You just got free ideas right there. So we'll see, we'll see. Talib, oh, hold on. Patrick Brown, if he won the vote, right, so he should get a figure, right? Well, who did win the vote? I know Lugnut won the vote. He was supposed to get a figure. We haven't gotten anything yet. And it's the same thing with Skybite. I think they're just waiting for opportunity. Uh, let's see, let's see. Wasn't there a Skybite in one of the JT Prime listings? Was he? I don't remember. I don't remember. I do not remember. But yeah. It's like we're not wanting to do a whale TF on purpose. Well, I think it's because it's a mold where do you go from there? Like if you do a whale transformer, what do you do afterwards? You know? What do you do afterwards? How do you repaint that? What do you do with that tooling? Show me like a really good, a really good partial afterwards. You know what I mean? Show me a really good partial afterwards of what you do with that whale. You know, that's kind of the thing. It's kind of how it rolls. No sky, no sky bite. Okay. Polar Claw is another one I'd love to see. I always had a soft spot for Polar Claw. I thought he was so cool of a design and with the bat gimmick and everything. He was a big dude too, so he almost seemed like he was like a strong, imposing Maximal character. And he was part of that original run of figures, like before even the series two of Beast Wars. So he also, it's like Scorponok got put in the show, but Polar Claw, his other mega class counterpart, never did. So he always has that mystique of like, oh man, he probably would have been so cool. I imagine him like a drill sergeant or just like a really badass character. So he would have been really cool. He would have been really, really cool. Poison Bite, Barracuda, Scorpion. Man, that's the mutants. Those are crazy. Polar Claw definitely deserves one. It's a shame that like he was teased in the he was teased in the Kingdom poster, but nothing ever came of it. Nothing ever came of it, unfortunately. And we will end it because we're almost done today. The last thing we'll say is Ari Nuts saying Street Sharks, Transformers collab Len. Well, Mattel and Hasbro are doing business together. So you never know. We might get a Ripster Transformer. We'll take some take a Skybite great white shark, fuse it with Ripster, give him pants and muscles and abs, and that'll be great. That'll be awesome. Wasn't there a horse? Yes, there was. There was a horse transformer that was in Beast Wars Neo. You know. Anyways, guys, we are gonna call it quits today. We are done. Ooh, cat hair just went everywhere. We are gonna call it quits today. Um, Great stuff again. Great questions. Great conversations. Everyone was behaved very nicely. Very good guys. Thank you for Aaron for coming by. Plasticon Studios too. Shout out to him who came by also. We're gonna chill tonight. We're gonna relax. I got some video games I gotta play. I'm still slowly going through Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. And we also there's a new demo on the Nintendo Switch. There's this Gomon Mystical Ninja spiritual successor game that just came out. I forget the name of it. Jaws D showed it to me. So I think I'm going to download the demo and try that out tonight. But otherwise, thank you all for coming. Thank you for the super chats, the love and support, the new subscribers that joined today. Thank you, Aaron, for coming, and all the other crew members, the YouTube members, which are those beautiful green names on the side, and of course, my patrons too. Again, if you want to continue supporting the podcast, we have that Patreon link down in the description below. You can come join the Patreon and help support the podcast there. If you don't like Patreon, there also is that YouTube join button. You could join the YouTube members, which are those green names over there that were supplying us some really good questions today. And on top of that, you can also double dip. Some people like to have both. I know Cringe McCringle in the chat likes to have both. Mikey and Louie, they like to have both, so it's your choice if you want to support the podcast, however you want to support it. Again, thank you for the love and support, guys. And again, check out, Symbiote Studios and all their amazing stuff, symbiotestudios.com. Go check out the Toy Armada. There is no new live stream, but I'm sure Aaron will do something maybe next week or whatever. Again, I am going to see Transformers 1 tomorrow, so expect some kind of review over the next couple of days after that. So stay tuned for that. Otherwise, thank you for all the love and support. Take care of yourself, your friends, your families, and your loved ones. The world is not as bad a place as you think it is. Once you go out that front door and talk to your neighbors and everyone, you realize just how great it is. And stay away from social media because it's a lot more negativity than there needs to be sometimes. Uh, the world is pretty cool when you really check it out. There's so much cool stuff in the world. I'm out of here, guys. Take care as always. Roll out.